In this video we are going to discuss sinking fund method depreciation. Today we're going to talk about a financial concept known as the sinking fund method. Now, this might sound complicated, but let's break it down together. Firstly, let's understand what a sinking fund is. A sinking fund is a fund formed by periodically setting aside money for the gradual repayment of a debt or replacement of a wasting asset. Now, the sinking fund method is a way of calculating depreciation. But what is depreciation? Well, when we buy assets like machinery or property, over time, they lose their value. This loss in value is what we call depreciation. In the sinking fund method, we consider the depreciation to be equal to the annual sinking fund plus the interest for that year. This means we're not just looking at how much value the asset has lost, but we're also taking into account the interest that could have been earned on the sinking fund. Why is this method beneficial? It's particularly useful for calculating the book value of a property. The book value is the value of an asset according to its balance sheet account balance. By considering both the depreciation and the potential interest, we get a more accurate representation of the asset's true value. The formula for the sinking fund is given by sinking fund I or A equals S multiplied by I divided by I plus 1 whole power n minus 1, where I or A represents the sinking fund, which is the amount of money that we set aside periodically. S is the total amount of sinking fund to be accumulated. This is the total value we want to reach at the end of the period. I is the rate of interest. This is the interest rate per period for the sinking fund. N is the number of years. This is the total number of periods for which the money is invested or borrowed. So, this formula helps us calculate how much we need to set aside each period to reach our desired total, given a certain interest rate and number of periods. Remember, the power of compounding is at work here. The term I plus 1 whole power n takes into account the compound interest over n periods. And the minus 1 in the denominator adjusts for the initial investment. The table shows how the sinking fund method calculates depreciation and book value each year. Depreciation each year is the annual sinking fund plus that year's interest BCD etc. Total depreciation is the sum of all years' depreciation. Book value is the original cost minus total depreciation. So, each year, depreciation increases with the sinking fund and interest.